Good evening. It is evening. It's 7 o'clock. Oh my god. I can't believe it's 7 o'clock. I have to inform my friend that I'm going to be late for our anime date. No, I do not mean a romantic date unless I'm currently referring to an intense bromance between men, which is precisely the meaning of that term. I'll be late for anime. Consider that to be part of the introduction. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Castlevania Circle of the Moon. I am pleased to be back, but I must say that I was not expecting to be back. My priority was very much Monster Hunter, but my priorities were essentially thrown out the window once I found a certain something. What I found was a television. Yes, a television. Now, I'm not going to go into deep detail about this, if only for the reason that I don't think my personal setup, which, by the way, has no effect really on how you view the live stream. The live stream is always going to look the same because it's, in the box, as they say in the audio world. It's in the box, digitally, it's digitized, Whether my television is 21 inches in size or 47 inches in size means nothing to you. It's going to look the same. But the situation is that that is how much my TV has increased in size. So I have used the same TV pretty much, at least for older consoles, since around 2007. At least 15 years, probably longer, I've used the same TV. Now, while I was coming home from work, on the side of the road, there was that exact same TV, the exact same one, but way bigger, and I mean way bigger. So the TV that I'm referring to, which was an appropriate size for my setup and always has been, I've always sat quite close to my TV while playing games, which obviously works best with a small TV as opposed to a large TV. But obviously I can have a different setup if I have a larger TV, it is what it is. The point is that is about 21 inches, that original TV, and this one, I measured it. It's a weird tape measure that I used, but it seemed to be approximately 47 inches, of course. Measure it diagonally. 47 inches, and that's obviously a big size increase. So I had to actually swap the positions of my monitor and my television. I use a more modern LG monitor for modern consoles, and also for connecting to my PC as a dual screen. And then I used that older Samsung flat screen TV from, mid to late 2000s to run my older consoles through. The reason why I do that, some of you are going to be sitting there going, this guy is running his older consoles through a, semi-modern flat screen television. How could he be doing that? Well, I'll tell you why I'm doing that and not doing it through like some old CRT television. The reason why is because I still run it through HDMI. Basically, I use an original Elgato Game Capture HD, and that is a phenomenal capture card for old systems. It works with pretty much any retro console, and also semi-modern console, inclusive of, for instance, the Wii and the PS3 and 360. That's not retro. I don't want that to be called retro. It's going to make me feel ancient. But my point is that Elgato Game Capture HD still uses HDMI, so I don't want an old CRT, because I'm still recording with the television, okay? Like, I'm not doing it for personal gaming. But anyway, let's just say that I've sized things up. I can't have the 42-inch television really close to me anymore, so I've put it further away, and I've brought the LG monitor closer, so I've effectively swapped the positions of the televisions, except one of them has, literally exploded in size. What am I doing for myself? I'm getting my phone. And that is basically story time with Doomlink over, I think. Because if I were to go into greater detail, it would probably bore you to tears. That's probably already considered excessive in terms of detail. Those of you who are watching are likely wondering when I'm going to start playing the game, which is probably fair, to be honest. There has been no chatting so far, which is fine. I'm not going to complain about that. It means that I haven't been ignoring anyone, which is actually fine. My beverage today is going to be I honestly hope everything's fine with the video. I'm just going to assume that those of you watching would have told me if something was not quite right with the video. I asked that question because I'm not used to having to sync things, like specifically sync things, so I hope that my video is in sync with my audio. If it's not, then I'll be extremely upset. But at any rate, my beverage for today is an interesting one. It's actually more well recognized as a beer, but I have a whiskey by Good & Carolus. It's one of the best Belgian beer manufacturers out there. It seems good. Well, thanks, Flomo. I do genuinely appreciate the feedback. Thank you for that. But yeah, Good & Carolus they make absolutely brilliant beer. From the classic to the triple to the whiskey infused. Inter alia, I believe. There probably are more that they make. But they actually made a whiskey. I managed to get a hold of it. And it's not amazing. I've had better whiskey at this price point. I don't know how expensive this can get. I got it at a good price. About 150 Australian dollars paired with the whiskey-infused beer, which I consider to be a good deal. And it included a glass. So, for me, at that price point, I can imagine that, I would say that if that was a good deal, which I believe it to have been, and it was still $150, I'd say the whiskey on its own could be at least that, if not a little more. And I would say for this price point, it's fine. It's not amazing. It has not blown my mind, okay? I've had that much of it. My impression of it so far is that it hasn't been a paradigm-shifting drinking experience. It's a decent single malt, and I've definitely had worse. What is that sound? It's an odd sound. My washing machine just finished its cycle, but then it continued to make a strange noise. As if some sort of creature were residing within the washing machine. I don't know what that's about. Maybe there is a creature residing in the washing machine. You never know. Maybe a cat jumped into the washing machine and I didn't notice, and now it's trying to claw its way out. Get me out! Hopefully not. That would be rather cruel to have put a cat through a washing. I'm sure it would drown under those conditions, but let's not even think about that. That's horrendous. Good & Carolus whiskey. That's a better conversation. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I'm now directly comparing it to this, and yeah, it's good. I'd say that I've had much worse. It's naturally smooth. You would hope so at that price point, but it's got a nice balance of flavor, and there's also a flavor in there which is slightly different to anything I've ever tasted, and it's called. Well, it's Anker, which they call it Anker cask, which apparently is some kind of wine cask that's been shaven down so that you get more of a wood flavor. I don't know. It's specific to the distillation process employed by Good & Carolus, courtesy of whoever the head distiller was at the time they began making this. Now that I have well and truly bored you all, we're going to resume playing the game. I do not remember what I was doing. I have to be honest when I say that. Why is the game so quiet? Where is my remote? Oh yeah, because it is literally the same television as my old one, except a much larger version, the remote does work for it. But I don't know where I put the remote. That's alright. Oh, here it is. Yes. I'm just going to raise the volume a little bit. Come on. Alright. That is how we want to time that attack. Let's demonstrate it again. Oh. Let's demonstrate it again. Alright. Now, I could stand here all day and hit Medusa heads, but I would rather make some progress, so I will endeavor to do that. I wish I could remember what I was doing, because that would really help. And I will tell you why. It's because there are so many directions I could go in right now. And I don't know which of these directions are directions I've already been in, but cannot progress in, if that makes sense. So, I'm in real trouble here. I'm going to make an assumption, and that is that south of my current position, more specifically southeast of my current position, where you can see that vertically there are two directions to go in, I am going to assume that the fact that I am here means I've already attempted to go in those directions and have been unable to go that way. So I think I'm heading towards the tower to the west. I just mixed up my east and west, and I apologize for confusing you all terribly. South-west of my current position, those two directions heading vertically. That's really helpful when I'm trying to explain it to you and I mix up my east and west. What's wrong with me? Southwest of my current position, I'm going to assume I can't go that way, so I am instead going to head towards the east, and then hopefully that will be some point of progression for me. I am almost certain that that's where I want to be going, so we're going to try that. I will have to remind myself of how to play the game. That is going to be not just a necessity, but yeah, it will be very helpful as well. Naturally, that which is necessary will also be helpful when, you know, such a condition has been fulfilled. That's one would imagine. By the way, this glass is a strange one, isn't it? It looks like a candle holder. I'm not that enthused by it. When I first saw it, I was, you know, considerably unimpressed by it. I was just like, well, why would I drink whiskey out of a candle holder? And then, it's interesting, it's only in person that you come to appreciate it. When you have whiskey sitting in it, and you've also got, you can't quite see probably, but it says Good and Carolus in gold, and it has the golden emblem on it too. The golden liquid and the golden writing on it, and the shape of the glass, when it's all sitting in place, the way the light in the room reflects off the glass, it just looks really nice. Again, it's not something that you would be able to see from the recording, and if I were to attempt to take a photo of it, maybe it would recreate it sufficiently in order to communicate what I'm trying to describe, but it's nicer than I expected. Let me just put it that way. It looks good. So, while it might be strange to drink whiskey out of a candle holder, it's actually kind of nice as well. That's what I've come to realize. No, it's not a candle holder. I'm saying that as a joke. It just looks like one, okay? Alright. Also, hello, Yells. I'm just going to blame the fact that I had to say hello to you on the fact that I just got hit. I suppose I should have ordered that in the opposite way. Anyway, I think... No, we don't want to head in that direction. We want to continue up. Which I will do. You keep away from me, lady. Did you see that the way she fired that fireball at me, which is a terrible repetition of words, isn't it? Fired that fireball. The way she shot that fireball at me, it actually went underneath me so that I wouldn't be able to hit it before it hit me, which is just delightful, isn't it? I would guarantee that it is that way by design. Stop it! It homes in on you and is designed to evade you. Yeah, I have to hit that woman. Alright, let's... what is our special effect? It is... The Rose Whip. I have to jump over that shit. Kill her, thank you. That is the sound of a screaming woman who, quite frankly, should be doing more than screaming after what she's just put me through. I don't know what she could be doing more than screaming as she dies, but, you know, whatever that could possibly be, that is what I want for her to experience. Okay, well, that's fine. That's a lovely position to be in. I knew I would severely regret what I just did there. And yet I still did it. Ugh, that was a little dangerous, wasn't it? I have lost a little bit of health. I am conscious of this fact. I am hopefully going to be out of the woods soon. I refer to this whole location as the woods, trying not to have my Game Boy Advance reflect the room light, because that would not only be awkward visually for you. I'm about to sneeze. Ugh. I did not inadvertently press the select button. I did that intentionally because while sneezing, just in case you hadn't worked it out for yourself, it's quite difficult to play the game, so I did that intentionally. Now, well, what was I saying? I was saying something that was only somewhat important. I don't remember what it was. I was in mid-sentence while I sneezed, and now I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh yes, I'm trying not to blind myself with the light reflecting off my Game Boy Advance screen. It would not only be awkward while I'm playing the game to be blinded while playing it, but it would also cause light to shine on my face and look visually strange to all of you. So, yeah, there are aesthetic reasons behind me avoiding that, and also practical reasons, such as wanting to be able to play the game without being blinded. Which is actually harder. Well, it's easier said than done to... Oh, stop it, please. Do I have anything other than a special whip to kill you? I'm struggling to deal with you, actually. Now, the way that played out would suggest the polar opposite to what I just said, but believe me, the reason why I was just standing still and swinging my whip... the reason why I was doing that was because I didn't know what else to do. I was confused. Alright, I understand how you move now. To quote a certain song, but in a different way, I don't like the way you move. Oh, I do have special abilities. Of course I do. I need to remember how to play the game. You can see that because I don't know how to play the game, or because I'm struggling to remember how to play the game, apparently... No, whatever I would get out of killing you is not worth the loss of health at this stage, okay? I'm in trouble. If I die here, it's going to be a bad time. So my priority at this stage is to get to the save point that is south of my current position. And I will try to remain switched on as best I can. Fortunately, this is an easy part to get through. I just hope that I can get back up here. It looks like I can. I have yet to see anything that would prevent me from getting back up here, so... while it might be a bit of a lengthy and possibly arduous journey... Keep away from that axe armor, please. While it may be a lengthy or arduous journey, it is worth it, because I'd rather do that than have to go back from literally the beginning of this video. Alright, so we just saved the game. I remind you all that I do actually have a save battery in this cartridge, because it's an early Game Boy Advance cartridge, and I have not confirmed the integrity of that battery. I don't know if it is the original save battery that has yet to be replaced, or if it is a new save battery. If it is an old one, I could lose my save file at any time. Okay? At any time, I could lose my save file, and you know what? I'm willing to take that risk. I was supposed to get a soldering iron so that I could, change all of the save batteries on my cartridges, not just for Game Boy Advance, but also for Game Boy and for Super Nintendo. I was supposed to do that, but to say that I've dithered on that would be an understatement. I mean, I was talking about that 2 years ago, so... yeah. Still hasn't happened. It's going to happen eventually. One gentleman actually donated a small... Oh, I'm gonna say a small fortune. He donated, like, I don't know, $25 or something to me to put towards that, but he turned out to be a little bitch, so I spent his donation on a trip to the pub instead. Not for any reason other than he was a little bitch. I mean, it's not like... yeah, anyways, that's a strange story. Hope you all enjoyed that. But it's true, I mean, this was years ago, but... yeah, he was like... I'll put this towards your soldering iron, and then he... I had a short rant during a Wind Waker recording that's not on YouTube, and it was a rant about beer. And he took it so personally, and he never forgave me after that. And I was like, mate, if that's enough to offend you, you need to stop watching me. And then, just to spite him, I used the money that he donated to buy myself a few drinks at the pub. It wasn't enough to really get food and drink. I just, must have had 2 pints of dark ale at the fucking pub or something. But yeah. Cheers to that guy. At least I remember the drink. I remember it being notably satisfying. Okay. Now, I'm not under any obligation to use the money that you donate to me in any specific way, but I will obviously try to, honor the intention behind the donation. But if you turn out to be a little bitch, that might change circumstances slightly. Okay. That's basically the situation. What is going on? I need to try and position myself so as to successfully progress north, which was not happening at that moment. I was sort of standing underneath this point go, how do I get up there? I wasn't really doing that. It was abundantly clear how I was supposed to go about doing that, but the fact that I had to stop and think about it really was a little embarrassing. Okay, this area here is interesting to me, because, oh no, perhaps I can't progress higher than this. No, that might be entirely reasonable. Oh. I don't think I confirmed what was in that other room. Do you see that there's a room south of where I am that I haven't continued through? What's confusing about all this is because I have already been here before. But one thing that has bothered me very much about Circle of the Moon, and I've already expressed this in previous recordings, and I will reiterate it, it's the amount of backtracking you have to do through the castle, because you keep getting these new abilities, and you have to backtrack over and over and over again to these different locations that you've already been to, because now you have this new ability, so you can continue in a certain direction in a certain room. And, I don't mind a little bit of that, that's fine, and I actually think that's nice. But I feel like we've crossed the threshold of what would be considered acceptable. Okay, I don't think I can move this, can I? No. I don't even know how to move it, but I still don't have that ability, I don't think. So, no, actually, I think we're supposed to go from the other side, and I'll tell you why I think that. There's actually a little slot for it to go in. Oh, I see. We can actually push it from either side, and it will do that. Alright, understood. Okay. I do enjoy this music, by the way. It's good music. I should clarify why I've not taken the time to get a soldering kit. It's because, the timing of it was awkward. So at the time that I really wanted to get a soldering iron, I had no fucking money. And then, by the time I had money, I went through the process of moving home. And then, I still haven't organized myself. Like, I sort of need an outdoor table on my balcony to be able to do that, and I still haven't, sourced one because I'm an idiot. And so, yeah. And I may actually be moving again at some point soon, because it turned out that this place that I moved to was not really sustainable in the long term, price-wise, because if you know anything about Sydney, ooh, the rent is painful, especially these days. It's just absolutely soared to extremities that I struggle to express in the English language. But, yeah. Ow. Yeah, eye-watering rent is what I'm currently having to deal with, and that has... I'm going to be moving again, so I'm not going to take the time to get an outdoor setting, okay? Not now. Because you never know. What if the next place that I move to includes one? Do you know what I mean? Then what am I going to do with the one that I got? But you see, that preference also helps me be a little lazy. I'm going to be quite upset if I go all the way as far west as I can in that direction that I apparently have not continued in, and I still need something to get through there. I'm going to be really angry, actually. Because, and there are two reasons why. The first reason would be that I had gone all that way for nothing, and the second would be, I don't know where the hell I'm going to go now. Well, I wouldn't know where I would be going next, to phrase that in the correct tense. Alright, let's go up. Oh. That's, okay, so that situation I just mentioned has eventuated, so what am I gonna do? I just came all this way. I don't know where I'm supposed to go next. And I'm a bit sick of all this backtracking. It is actually especially difficult when many, many months pass in between recordings and you just don't remember where you've been. I'm not saying that I need Dracula's Castle to be perfectly linear. I don't think Dracula's Castle works in a linear way at any point in Metroidvania. But, hand on heart, there is too much backtracking in this castle. In this game. Sorry. Oh my god, stop it. I would actually reset to my last save point if I were close to the reset button of my console, but I'm not. So... yeah. I mean, I could reset the cartridge through my Game Boy player, but my controller is far away as well. I mean, yes, I've got this, but I would need my GameCube controller for that. I do have a warping point, or just a warp point, but I don't think it works. I think I need to unlock another warp point for it to be functional. Am I correct? Let's find out. Oh. Was that even there before? Well, we can... oh no, I can't go over here, can I? Not yet. Oh no. I can go through that, but... I think this is where we began the game, isn't it? Oh my god, you idiot. You miserable dick! Look at what you've just done. You've backtracked all the way over here. You fool. You didn't want to come over here, did you? Not at all. Oh, you are such a disappointment. Well... what am I going to do now? What the fuck? I've got another backtracking option. And to those who are watching these recordings in VOD form consecutively, I apologise if I'm about to do something now that I already did in that recording. I'm so sorry, but I'm doing it. Or rather, if that is what's happening, that's it. And there's nothing I can do to change that, okay? Am I even taking damage from these enemies? Practically not. Alright, so we are going all the way up. If you don't know where I'm headed yet, then that's alright, you will work it out. I've little doubt of that. You will either work it out prior to my arrival, or upon my arrival at my intended destination. Ugh. Whatever. I admit it. I messed that up really badly. Okay, let's see if I can continue through here. Can I? Nah. No, it wouldn't be that easy now, would it? But that's alright. I wasn't actually aiming for that. I thought I'd just check that out. I'm just worried that I did that in the last video. I'm deathly afraid that I did that in the last video. I think I did. Alright, let's go over here. If this ends up being a total waste of a recording, I'll be upset. Because... oh, stop it. Doomlink's such a good Castlevania player, isn't he? Just naturally adroit when it comes to playing these games. Alright, so I think we can ascend in this direction. At the expense of my thumb, because let me tell you, a Game Boy Advance D-pad is pretty stiff. And the way you have to double tap it to run, thumb fatigue is the word that I would use, or the phrase rather that I would use to describe what I'm currently having to deal with. Okay, good on you. Would I go to greater lengths to avoid getting hit if it hurt more? Probably. But, you know, it doesn't necessarily make the fact that I'm getting hit this much any more acceptable. Oh, congratulations. You're throwing bones at me, man. That's all you are. You are bones. You can't just do that forever. That is not a sustainable strategy, my friend. To just throw bones at me when you are bone. Do you get me? Oh, this is a way forward. Hey, I can actually continue in that direction. I can't continue in this direction, but I can go in the other direction. Now, this is... I'm just gonna say something, and I hope that I'm dead wrong. Let me just make the point. Occasionally, when you go to the trouble of backtracking really far in this castle, and I'm reminded of this, and it actually makes the backtracking of this castle so much worse. But yeah, I just remembered that this is actually the case. You can go to the trouble of backtracking to certain locations thinking that you're going to progress through the castle, but instead you are given some stupid health max up, or MP max up. I don't want that. I want to progress. I don't want to travel from one side of the fucking castle to the other to get an MP max up. I don't want that. I want to progress. Now, if what I'm about to progress to is actually just an HP max up, I'm going to be pretty downtrodden. I'm going to feel like shit. Because what I need right now is progress, not an HP or MP max up. Okay, this looks like a way forward, and thank God for that, because I had no idea if I had already come here before. Alright. It's a Gorgon. It had a different name, and rightly so, in Dawn of Sorrow, and I'll tell you why. Because that's not a Gorgon. Yes, it might petrify you, but that doesn't make it a Gorgon, okay? Gorgons are snake things. I think. But anyway. I say I think because I don't know the actual origin of Gorgon, but it's related to Medusa, that's all I know. Yeah, alright. Werebear? Rhymes with Care Bear? So, is it intended to relate to Care Bears? Probably not. But it might. Might do. You never know. The likelihood of it? I'm not sure. I might throw a something or other at you. It's good to kill these enemies, isn't it? Get a little bit of experience. So there is good positioning of... I've already gone over this before, but there are bad ways to position... There's a perfect example of a bad way to position the Holy Cross. There are good ways to position it and bad ways to position it. And basically you don't... The further away you are from the enemy, the better, but you don't want to be too far away so as not to even reach it at all with the cross. So you want to just reach the enemy so that it stops and then goes back. if it makes contact with the enemy at the point where it starts to move backwards, it will reach the enemy, stop, and then go backwards, and it lingers on the position of the enemy, thus allowing more impact. So here's an example. See all that? That's a lot of hits. Now, if I were to stand here, look at that. You get less hits because it doesn't linger on the position of the enemy. Now, in terms of positioning, just to keep on that subject, my positioning sucks, okay? So don't use that as an example, but yeah, the cross is... there is a skill associated with it. And if I can do it well, you definitely can, because I suck at this game, okay? So I don't really think you're getting too much in the way of good advice out of me, because I don't know much of anything, okay? Or at least that's what my instincts tell me. But it's conversational though, isn't it? I'll go away. I don't mind killing you, it's just... my priority at this point is actually to survive. And I'm starting to wonder if I can achieve that. Oh my god. I'll let you do... maybe I won't let you do that. I'm just going to get through these enemies. I want to kill them, I want their experience, but I want to survive as well. Okay. So, I'm going to do my best to do that. Save point? Please? Well, that may be equivalent to that of a save point. Oh god, this is getting increasingly dangerous. That's underground waterway, and I don't think I can traverse this right now. No, I cannot. Another place to backtrack to in the future. Excellent. Just excellent. I've done so much backtracking already, and I am still finding places that I can't traverse just yet. And that sucks. Oh, boomerang guy! Oh! Yeah, I need to be really careful. Get away from me. I need to use that warp point. Is there a warp point? Oh my god. There is a warp point that takes me quite close to a save point, so I'm going to try and make use of that. Oh my god, that was dangerous. And I needn't explain why. We are going to that warp point. Because that is the next best thing. Not... I really need to work out where the hell I'm going. So, we want the next entrance down. Far out. So the good thing about warp points is that they don't go to a specific warp point, they go to every warp point. Just have to have the patience to go from one to the other. In later games you can actually select them specifically, like the DS games for instance. Is there a game before... I think the Game Boy Advance games that came after this one, I think they will allow you to select as well. Could always be wrong. That's my random stab in the dark guess. Based on failing memory. We made it. Could I have used a potion there? Yes, I could have done. But I chose to play in such a way as to avoid the use of a potion. I'd like to accumulate them for an occasion where they will be helpful and necessary. Particularly the latter point. We want them to be necessary when I use them. For example, a boss that we're trying to beat. We've got 3 potions at the moment. That's going to become less and less helpful the more HP max-ups we acquire. So, yeah. No! Coaxing another one of those attacks out of him so that I can safely dispatch him and move on. I'll keep picking up hearts, of course. I haven't actually paid attention to how many hearts I consume when I use the cross, but I rather imagine that it's more than any other item that I can throw as a form of balancing, because the cross is considered, except for perhaps holy water, it is circumstantial as to which one's the best. Yeah, the cross is considered to be the best, so generally. Alright. Do you know what I'm going to do? it makes sense for me to prioritize that which is further to the west. Or I guess further to the left. So I'm going to do that. Keep pressing all the wrong buttons. Yeah, that's a great way to waste your hearts, isn't it? Oh my... Wow. Okay. I've just lost every right to use the cross on... Oh my god. Alright. That was a lot of impact, so I'm going to do the rest with my whip. Yeah, I totally lost all my rights to use another cross on the Gorgon, didn't I? That was a terrible waste. Terrible, terrible waste. Oh my god. I do want to get that big heart. I'll pick that up. Might use that heart on you in that way. It's good experience points, I think. What's my XP looking like now? 5,444 for the next level up. I'm not going to use a cross on you. No need. And more hearts. A bit of perseverance when it comes to heart collection really is all you need. Oh, this is going into a totally different area, right? How do I get past these fucking things? Hey? There must be a way. And I don't know the way. So, there you are. Another way to backtrack. So far we've got... I mean, we have already acquired a few items. So, 3... Well, not just items, I should say abilities. There are 3 that I can list off the top of my head. Okay? Double jump. The ability to crush rocks, and the ability to do this stuff. Oh, that was a nice little coincidence there. Oh, it's a secret room. That's lovely. So double jump, the ability to destroy rocks, and the ability to do this jump. Okay. Now that represents 3 separate things that we had to backtrack in order to reach. Okay. So directions that we couldn't previously go in, we could then go in after acquiring those abilities. So, that's not the end. We've also now encountered, on top of those 3 abilities that have, led to excessive backtracking prior to this point, we have also been encountering those Iron Maidens and also directions where I don't even know how you get up there. Just like really vertical passages upward. And I've got no idea at this stage how to do that. Oh my god, that's dangerous. I don't know how I'm supposed to get through all that. That's a good way to do it. Heart max up. Not a bad thing. Good for my cross. That worked. Am I going to get a large heart every time I break that? No, and perhaps large hearts don't respawn. It's possible. I don't know that for sure, it's just a guess. Oh, that's a few hearts. Now, that is something that you need to consume. I think that's basically, yeah, so heart. It's literally just called heart. You could have been a little more creative about that. I don't care if you were doing a literal translation or not. Sometimes the Japanese are not that creative with their naming, okay? Like, you have the opportunity to make something a little more interesting than that as the translators, guys. You don't have to be as boring as the Japanese with their naming. Just saying. Like, English is a bit more poetic, okay? Whereas the Japanese language is very prosaic and just unromantic sometimes. I could be wrong about that, but that's my impression of the Japanese language. I don't know how it works in literature. Maybe, I would say that literature in Japanese is probably, like, what makes that special is probably the use of kanji, for instance. I'd say that would be how a very interesting literary form of Japanese can come about. I'd say that's how it manifests. I don't think it's in the words that are used so much. I think it's very matter of fact. My point is that if you're going to translate Japanese, you need to have a bit of creative license, otherwise you're going to be looking at something quite boring and matter-of-fact. Oh, fuck off! Seriously, I mean, this guy's too big for his own good. I'm going to kill him. I've had enough. I'm going to kill all you bastards. He's got a lot of health. He might drop something good, you never know. He didn't. He didn't. Just in case you needed me to let you know. I need to position myself so that the cross goes right on him. Like that. See how many times I hit him with that? That was good. Now, I would have gotten some experience out of that. Stop pressing the wrong button. I would have gotten some Oh, that wasn't much. Oh, no, it was a decent amount. It was 5,000, I think, before. Now it's 2,000. Not like before I killed those enemies, but when I last checked is what I mean. Okay. That looked like something dropping down to kill me. Can I find a save point, please? I'd love to find one. That would be just delightful. Oh my god, more of this shit. I'm not going that way. That looks like the path of greatest resistance, so I'm not interested at this stage. What's that? Curiosity killed the cat, as they say. Thank god. I don't know, I have an instinct for that shit. He says after he's been looking for a save point for this long, and then finally when he goes in a certain direction, he finds a save room, you know. It's like, I have an instinct for that. Yeah, my ass, Doomlet. My ass. Is this his boss room? That might be a boss room. Looks like one, doesn't it? Based on its proximity to a save point, and the fact that it's a really long corridor, I'd say it might be a boss room. It's not a boss room. But guess what? It's another thing I have to backtrack to. Real cute game. Real cute. We've gotten this far, and he's still giving me these damn box rooms that I can't go through. Push box. Well, guess what, Nathan? You're a weak ass. That's what you are. You are weak, and you're not strong enough to save that guy you want to save. How about that? Is that a good attitude for this game? Probably not. If you want my opinion, these bloody swords are not worth, and I do mean literally bloody sword, that's what they're called. These bloody swords are not worth the time. I'm going to go past them. They move around too much, and they don't look like they're going to give me much experience when I kill them. Okay? Just a little theory of mine. Could be wrong. Oh god. Could be wrong. Oh god, what was that? I killed one of the bloody swords, and I just lost a skill card as a result. Because I killed it off screen with my fucking cross. I'm an idiot. Well, I'm not an idiot, it's more like bad luck than carelessness on my part, because how could I have anticipated that a skill card would drop? Not just that a skill card would drop, but that my cross would have dealt enough damage to kill that guy. So yeah, it's more like misfortune than anything else, but that's quite nasty that I missed out on a skill card. I'd say, based on the fact that those bloody swords were, you know, very mobile and whatnot, could have been a very nice skill card, but I shall never know. Oh, hello. Yes, I'm glad that I'm far away enough from you to be able to avoid that. Now, I don't think every enemy drops a skill card. I'd say only certain ones do, but I hope I can kill you before you can do anything to me. Those guys are quite useless when you're close enough to them to avoid their fire. Because you see, they don't seem to be able to get it underneath you. Alright. Ugh! Fuck! Okay. Right, let's try that theory. Am I correct in this? No, I was wrong. You can be standing right in front of them and they can still hear you. I had the feeling that that wasn't the case, but now I'm fairly convinced that I can't do that consistently. It worked before because I killed him before he was able to shoot the fireball that would hit you if you were close, but yeah, that's not really how that works. It just so happened that the timing was fortuitous on that occasion. I'm gonna go absolutely batshit insane if I can't make this work. These goddamn brain things. What's terrible about these ghouls is that they endlessly fucking spawn. That was almost a chance to get hit up onto that higher level. That would have been excellent. I'm trying to hit the brains so that they stop preventing me from getting up there. Okay. I know what I need to do. I just need to press the right fucking button. There you go. That's how we do that. Alright. Yeah, we made it. Need to do a bit of gymnastics sometimes, you know? Really? This is what pisses me off. I'm not doing all this for HP max-ups, heart max-ups, and MP max-ups. That's not the point. I'm trying to progress here, and the game's insulting me by saying, have all these upgrades. That's actually not what I want. Give me a cool weapon or something. I'll take that. Why not? But don't give me this shit. I don't mind you peppering it throughout the game every now and again, but the way that you send me in these directions, with some kind of purpose, only for me to find out that I'm getting this crap, it's demoralizing. I'm sick of it. God. Anyway. That's just the way I feel about it. Everyone might have a different impression, and a different sense of priority when it comes to traversing through a Dracula's castle in any Castlevania game, but for me, I want to feel like I'm progressing in a meaningful way. That whole tower, for the effort that I just put into actually getting to the top of it, I felt like I achieved nothing. Is that a fair assessment of what I just went through? Probably. A lot of effort to have not really achieved much of anything. Nothing really tangible was achieved there. Very small improvements to my character. But maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe Symphony of the Night has spoiled me, and this is meant to be a more bare bones, sort of halfway, like a midway point between Symphony of the Night and traditional Castlevania. I don't know. But I just feel like Castlevania was a little bit more satisfying. And Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably your best point of comparison to that of Circle of the Moon. Because that was the Metroidvania game that preceded this one, most recently. Alright, I'll kill these bloody swords. I'll do it. Oh shit, I haven't saved recently. I need to do that. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I need a potion. I'm not doing it. It doesn't feel necessary. But what does feel necessary is for me to at least permanently record that progress through that fucking tower. So I'm going to a save point. I mean, I just dropped really far down to do that. But I'd rather traverse all that distance again than... Well, okay. No matter what, I have to traverse that distance again. But I would rather do it after having saved my progress in that damn tower. Okay? I'm glad we all agree. Maybe I should keep killing these things until I get a skill card. Oh, it's only 2 hits to kill them. I suppose that's because they move around so much. They are very small, aren't they? Do you know why I thought they were actually worse than they ended up being? It's because I thought perhaps there was an invisible warrior attached to them. There's a similar enemy in Symphony of the Night, so... I thought perhaps that's what it was, but it wasn't. Actually, let me kill you guys. They deal a decent amount of damage, which is frustrating. Alright. Yeah, I get it. You don't have to do much of anything, but you can still really hurt me. A decent amount. Give me a skill card. I'm so upset that I missed that. I just wish that I hadn't seen it. You know, if I had never seen that I got a skill card, I never would have realised. And then I wouldn't have been left forlorn and lugubrious. But I have been left in such a condition, and it's negatively impacting my experience in the game. Alright. I've got a very dour expression on my face. I'm so disappointed in my failure to acquire that skill card. Oh god, it's the marionette. Oh, that's what's going on. So I've just been put under an effect that prevents me from using my whip. That's why I was pressing that button and nothing was happening. Just lovely. Precisely what I like. Oh my god, it's just going to keep happening, isn't it? Let's do our best to progress. That doesn't look in any way viable. These swords need to fuck off. Like, I have to move at quite a lick to get out of the way of them. I need to reset that. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. See, it would have been better for me to stay on in the end, but I didn't know that this save point was here, so perhaps it wouldn't have been better. I agree with the decision that I had made at the time to backtrack to a save point, because who knows? You just don't know when the next one's going to be. You can guess, but what if you're wrong? Better to be safe than sorry, as they always say. Boss room? No. Another room with a fucking box. Another one. How many do you want me to backtrack to? At what point are you going to relieve me of my suffering? Ugh. Thunder guy. Thunder demon. He's got a thunderous ability. I really want to throw a cross at him and kill him. Ow. I'm just going to ignore him. That's the next best option. Can I... What the hell? He immediately cast an attack at me. Oh god, it's a were-panther. We've had were-bears, now we've got were-panthers. It's getting worse. Ugh. I learnt from Alan Rickman that were is an Anglo-Saxon word, but I don't know what it means, so the relevance of were-panther, or the relevance or the meaning of the word were in relation to the names of the were-bear and the were-panther eludes me. Okay. We leveled up, which is lovely. No. Stop. Oh. Got a mind restore. Now that is what I call compensation for my hard work. Got a mind restore. I've just about lost my mind playing this game. I used to have a lot of respect for this game because when I was younger, and I was not trained, at least not adequately, in traditional Castlevania, so I did find this game to be very difficult when I was a kid. Because I was used to, you know, Symphony of the Night. In the mid-2000s, I really cut my teeth in Castlevania on games like Portrait of Ruin and Dawn of Sorrow on the Nintendo DS. So, you know, a game like this was quite a struggle by comparison. And consequently, I had a bit of respect for it, but I now look at it in a slightly different light. Seriously, I mean, I can't get to that, but I will not even know that that's there, okay? I will never know, because I will forget that it's there, and I'm never going to come back to this tower, because as far as I am concerned, like, future Doom Link is going to look at that tower and go, well, I've been there, so I have indeed emptied it of all its treasures. That is going to be the assumption, and I would be right to make that assumption. Anyway, looking at this game with more experienced eyes as a Castlevania player, I would say it's not that great. I'd say as a Castlevania game, there are many that are superior to it. It may have aspects to it that are perhaps uniquely good, and perhaps are an interesting interpretation of the formula of Metroidvania, and maybe a unique balance of different factors that make a Metroidvania game, but is it, in my opinion, a good expression of such a formula? No. Not really. But admittedly, it's the first of its kind. It's portable Castlevania. Well, there were that came before it, but this is like, you know, a Symphony of the Night level Castlevania game on a portable system, which is, you know, the first of its kind in that respect, so... yeah, I understand. Oh. No. I don't know if I like going in this direction, but I've pretty much forced myself to do that now. That it should be our 4th potion now, I think. It is indeed our 4th potion. It is now at the top of the list because apparently the list is ordered from highest quantity to lowest, regardless of what the item may be. Alright, we've reached the highest point of this room. I'm currently perfectly content to use my Rose Whip. And if I were to have another option, I'd probably try it out, but at the moment, this whip is doing good work for me. I'm very much progressing in this direction now. It's a long way back to those different directions that I could have gone in. Which obviously represents backtracking. Yeah, my favorite thing. Backtracking. Big time backtracking. Really starting to grow weary of it. Oh, I really want those hearts. I'm gonna do it. Sacrifice. Sacrifice your health. Not literally, just in terms of, just as far as the video game is concerned. I'm not sacrificing my physical or mental health as an individual to get that, that heart drop, okay? Not that I really needed to clarify that point, but... you never know. Your audience can be as varied as people themselves in the world are varied. And consequently, you can have as many unique interpretations of the things that you utter. Were-panthers again, which I'm scared to fight. I will fight one though, why not? Stop being so scared, Doomlink. Be strong. Alright, do your attack and then I'll try to avoid it. Or evade it, whatever word I want to use. The extended range whip is actually tempting at this point. Great, the werebear is getting in the way. I'd rather a Care Bear, actually. Did any of you have a Care Bear? Well, I suppose it was more of a girl thing, wasn't it? Girls with their Care Bears. I was not a Care Bear kind of guy growing up, to speak for myself. Alright. I don't know if I can actually continue through here, can I? Looks like I'm going to need whatever allows me to go much higher up. Oh no, I was wrong. I'm glad I checked that. I don't know what... I guess it was just seeing that... Well, actually, I have no way of explaining why I thought what I thought. It was an assumption that I made. Oh, I thought I could jump on those bells, actually. Getting confused between these bells and bells in other Castlevania games that I can jump on. No bell is created equal. Or not all bells are created equal. Perhaps some can be. Perhaps it is an inevitability of chance. But not all bells are created equal, and for that reason, these ones cannot be jumped on, although some can be in other games. There you go. I'm sure we are more enlightened and informed, courtesy of that little explanation that I gave. Who knows? We're about to find out. Whoa! Yeah, when I said who knows, I was referring to who knows what's going to be on the other side of this door, and I was certainly not expecting a man to be thrown out the room and past me. Hugh, you okay? You, back off! This is my trophy to claim. You prick. That wasn't me. I was calling Hugh a prick. I wasn't pretending that Hugh called Nathan a prick. So I want to make sure that that's clear. Ugh! Hugh! And then Nathan just strolls in. Never mind. Yeah, there you go. I feel like I fought you. Oh, I know why I feel like I fought you. It's because I've played this game before. That's why. It's just, I've not recently played, and so... Oh my god. Yeah, the cross is definitely ideal for this. I just want to get the right position for it. I will consume a potion. How many I want to consume, I'm not yet sure, but this looks like the ideal position for the cross, so I'm going to throw it. If the cross does all the work for me, then that's going to be a little embarrassing, but yeah. There you go. I want to aim it more for the top horn. See that? If I get the face, it's not actually all that effective, but if I get the horns, that's much more effective. I reckon, and it's just a hunch, that if I were to retry this fight, but with better cross positioning, I'd probably succeed. Let's give that another try. Now, if I use all of my hearts with the cross, with the ideal positioning, and I still can't kill this guy, that means I'm going to have to work a little harder on avoiding being hit by these enemies. Yeah, alright. You okay? Oh, you back off, it's my trophy. You. Yes. Alright. That's not the button I want to press. And that's not how I want to position it. That's how we want to position it. Right up there. God, it's hard, isn't it? It's not as easy as it might look. Can I jump on your hands? No, I can't jump on your hands. Can I hit your hands? I cannot hit your hands. It's always good to know. That's still not good positioning. There you go. You can see what's good and what's not good, but interestingly, it looks easier than it actually is to get the right timing. But we cannot forget that I do suck at the game. That's also an important point. I do have heart, by the way. What is Doomling talking about? I'm talking about this. I have heart. Oh, I didn't need to use heart, actually. I have wasted heart. But, that's alright. I should have really walked forward so that we could see that in greater detail, but anyway. Oh, is that it? Okay. That looks like a portal to another dimension up there. That's some kind of sound effect. I want to discover this room in full if I can. I may have to do this business to do that. Alright, so we discovered that bit. Let's see if we can discover the other bit. Did that do it? Oh, wrong button. That did it. That certainly did it. I must have accidentally pressed a button. Alright. Great. What? It's what I always wanted. Always wanted that. Thank you very much, actually. Unbelievable. Oh, Hugh must have something to say. Damn, who asked you for help? That's a question, not an exclamation. I couldn't just leave you, could I? Is he pointing a gun at me? Or is he pointing at me? You know, minus the gun. Don't think that you defeated it. It was the power of that whip. Oh, that's fair enough. Hugh. You could never beat me in training, never once. But father named you the successor and gave you the hunter whip. Your parents and my father banished Dracula together, and those fond memories clouded his judgment. Don't forget that. Wow. Why are you so fond of this man, Nathan? You need to be more critical of your friends. Anyway, how long have we been live for? That's a good question. What? An hour and 11 minutes? Fuck, that was exhausting. An hour and 11 minutes, and I've only done that. What time is it? 8:12. I'm kind of tempted to end it there. I don't know. I don't really have the energy to continue. Well, I'm sure you'll all forgive me. I'll see you next time I'm doing Circle of the Moon. And, yeah, at the end of the day, if I don't really feel like it, it's better that I don't push myself. It might have a negative effect on the recording. I will try to record Circle of the Moon more frequently. I actually had genuinely forgotten about it. But, yeah, I will bid you all farewell for now, and I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Bye-bye.